What's up YouTube? It's your boy Quicksand tapping in for episode 32 of Mindset Monday, and today we're going to talk about how to get out of a slump if you're an athlete. But before we get into it, the one thing that I do ask of you is that if you find any type of value in the context of this video, that you share with someone who can also benefit. I post a mindset video every Monday, so subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss another video. Let's tap in. The first step in getting out of a slump is to get out of your own head. You are what gets this engine running, and if you are stuck in the past and all the mistakes you've made throughout this specific game, if you're worried about what happened 2 or 3 minutes ago and those mistakes, then how are you going to be in the present moment at the same time? Right? You can't think about the past and be currently in the moment. When you're in the moment, you're in the moment. You're not thinking about the past and you're not thinking about the future. You're thinking about now. And it's important to get out of your own head in that way. We can also look at identifying the fact that we're aware of a problem occurring, and then you have to quiet your ego. So when we quiet our ego, this is by far one of the most important things to do. And when you quiet the ego, you tell yourself and you admit to yourself that there is an issue at hand. And the issue at hand is going to require you to make change. So these are things that you need to speak to yourself and speak into existence, that the change has to come. Right? So quieting the ego and getting out of your own head, those are the first two things that you need to do. The third thing is to, okay, you've done all that. Now you need to identify the specific problem that is occurring. Is this problem, if you're talking about the game of basketball, which I love dearly and I want to, help people and players get to the highest levels. When you're speaking about basketball and you're identifying the problem, is it a physical or a mental problem for you? Sometimes it can be both. Sometimes it can only be physical. Sometimes it can only be mental. They go hand in hand. So if we're talking about physical, if you're not shooting the ball well, you have to identify your form and your mechanics. Are you off balance when you're shooting? Are your feet staggered so you're not getting enough power in your legs? Are you not using your hips enough when you shoot? Are you not following through on your shot? Is your follow through this way, that way? Are you not spreading your fingers far enough on the ball so that way you can get good rotation and a good spin, right? All those things are physical, and those are all skills that are built in practice. Okay, so identifying whether or not it is physical or mental. Now the mental part of it is when you miss a shot, how do you react? Does your head go down? Do you start clapping and getting upset? Does it affect your defense? Right? Do you stop playing defense? You start walking back? Are you not diving for loose basketballs when you make a mistake? Like, those are the mental parts of it. And also too, when people actively speak out loud and communicate their frustrations. Man, I can't hit nothing right now. I suck. I'm not what I used to be, or like I was just making shots last night in the last night's game. Like, what's happening? These are all, the mental aspects of the game of basketball and of life, right? This is why I love the game of basketball, because it's basketball is a teacher of life. You can learn a lot of lessons from the game of basketball, and with these lessons you can take them to your daily life and teach yourself to become a successful individual outside and on the court at the same time, which is a fantastic thing. And as you continue to get older and you learn all these lessons, you can teach to the younger generations what you've been through and how they can make the adjustments to get better, right? So looking at quieting the ego and then identifying the problem. So now the third thing that's important, and I have it written down, I don't want to misspeak on this one. I wrote down that it's important to get rid of that outcome oriented mindset, right? So only worry about the things that you can control. So if we're looking at the outcome oriented mindset, this mindset is like, okay, I set a goal for this game, and I'm looking at the outcome of last night I scored 15 points and I know I'm capable of doing so. So when you're doing bad in a game and you haven't reached 15 points because you know you're capable of doing it and you only have 5 points, you start to force the game and you're not letting it happen organically, right? The harder you try to do well, the more difficult the game is going to become. And this goes again with life, right? The harder you try to do well in life and to get a task done, the more difficult that task is going to become because you're trying too hard to do your best. Instead of just going out there and doing your best and letting it flow and being who you know you can be, being the person that has been practicing every day, which is also important. You must practice your craft on a daily basis if you want and expect to perform at the highest levels. The more work you put in, the more confidence that is built. So if you're not putting in the work, that's the physical part. Is it physical? Is it the fact that I haven't been putting in work? If it is, admit it. If you're putting in the work physically, then okay, mentally, you're not as strong. Read the books that you need to be reading. There's a great book called Mind Gym. There's another book called Shoot Your Shot. Look up these two on Instagram, on Amazon, or on any book provider, whatever it is. Look these books up and read them if you're an athlete, because these books changed my perspective and it's helped me to help other people that I train and coach. So again, we're looking at not trying too hard to do well. We're just going out and playing well. So if we're looking at the list in its entirety, again, I'm gonna read it. So we're looking at quieting our ego and admitting that we need to make change. The second thing is to identify the root problem, right? What really is it? Is it physical? Is it mental? And then that third thing is to get rid of that outcome-oriented mindset, right? And only worrying about the things we can control, which is our energy, our effort, and our willingness to know that we're not doing well. So we need to do other things as a result. And when you do these things, you'll find yourself rising above that hole that you dug for yourself. So the first step really is, when you're in a hole and you're in a slump, is to stop digging. Stop digging. Stop digging yourself deeper into that hole by getting frustrated, by yelling at your teammates, by talking back to your coaches, by not playing defense, by walking up and down the court. Like, you can't do any of that stuff at the highest levels. The best players in the world can adjust physically, finding themselves doing other things on the offensive end, but also on defense. And then mentally knowing that I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm okay with that because I know that I'm going to do other things. And I'm confident in my ability to make adjustments. And I'm confident in my coaches to put me in the right position. And I will listen and I will make all the adjustments that they're asking me. Right? So these are all important steps to getting out of a slump and to getting your life really on track, and to find yourself at the highest levels that you were expecting yourself to be at. I appreciate you all for watching this video. Thank you for watching. Share this with an athlete who needs this, or even anyone who's not an athlete, someone who just needs to get out of their own head and to help them get to the next level. Thank you all for watching. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss another video. Episode 33 next week. I'll see you all then. Tap out.